Let's have a look at how link transformation works when migrating content from Confluence to SharePoint using WikiTraccs, the Confluence to SharePoint migration tool. So I'm here in Confluence. I have a space open. It's a WikiTracks space. I want to migrate this to SharePoint. And looking at the address bar, I can see it has the WikiTracks space key, and it links to another space. That's a WikiPack Confluence space. Clicking this link brings me to this space, and you can see it's a different one. The space key is tree. And I want to migrate those two spaces to SharePoint, and I also want to make the links work in SharePoint. Now, how am I going to do that? So first, I switch to WikiTracks, and I put my base address in here, and I will very quickly configure things here. If you want to know more about the configuration options you have here, or about things like the Confluence Space Inventory, there's documentation about that, and there's also a quick start video about that. So I would recommend watching that. But I need to tell WikiTracks where's my Confluence, and Confluence is located here, running locally. I also need a WikiTracks site, and this WikiTracks site I already prepared. This is like the engine room. It's not for content, but it's for configuring and for telling WikiTracks what to migrate, and it's also important for link transformation. And I put that in here. And now I'm going to update the space inventory and the WikiTracks site. WikiTracks reaches out to Confluence, asks about all spaces. My case, I'm logged in as Adele. Adele can only see 3 spaces, and those are now written to the space inventory. I'm clicking the Open Space Inventory list to choose Sources list, and in the browser, the space inventory opens, and I can see now there's three spaces, and I want to migrate 2 of them. So I check the WikiTracks space and the tree space, and I also need to specify a target site so that WikiTracks knows where to migrate content. And this will also be used when transforming links from Confluence to SharePoint, because WikiTracks needs to know when migrating pages where each page is going to end up in SharePoint, in which site, so that it can insert the proper links to the migrated pages. So now for the WikiTracks space, I already created one SharePoint site. Let's get the URL of that. Switch back here, put that in here. Okay, perfect. And for the WikiPack space, I already created another SharePoint site, and you will probably have dozens more, depending on how you're going to migrate your content. And I'm grabbing this link here, putting this in here, and that's basically it. Exit grid view to save, and now switch back to WikiTracks. And there's one last edit field here, the default target site. So let's go quickly back to the Confluence Space Inventory list. When I don't enter something here, like with this space, then WikiTracks falls back to the default. And just for demo purposes, I also created an empty default site. Let's grab this URL here, switch back, put the default in here. And that's basically it. Let's migrate. Okay, it's testing endpoints. And now it's opening the second console window, doing the heavy lifting. There's two applications working together. The blue window is basically for configuring things. The black window is doing the actual migration. Need to sign in again to SharePoint here. Let's switch back. Let's wait a couple of seconds until those pages are migrated. So collecting pages for selectors, it's 2 selectors. In this case, it's space selectors. That means I selected 2 spaces for transformation in the Confluence space inventory list. And overall, from those 2 spaces, WikiTracks found 6 pages. And it now migrates those 6 pages over to Confluence, including attachments and also including adjustments like the links, that those work properly in SharePoint. So let's wait a couple more seconds. And we are basically, are we done? Second space, just 2 more pages to go. Okay, perfect. So now let's look at the migrated pages. So let's close the engine room and let's open our WikiTracks site here in SharePoint. And you see WikiTracks adjusted the home page of the site. Quite looks like it looked in Confluence. And now we have the link here to the WikiPack space originally in Confluence. And when I click this, I'm redirected to the page that now exists in another SharePoint site. So when you look at the browser address bar here, so this is a WikiPack page tree site containing the pages from the corresponding Confluence space. And when I go back to the other tab, this is a WikiTracks migration tool site containing the pages from the corresponding Confluence space. Just to reiterate that, we configured that in the beginning. I'm going back to the WikiTracks site, opening the Confluence space inventory list here. And we basically configured this here. So WikiTracks knows when migrating pages from the WikiTracks space, those pages will be migrated to the WikiTracks migration tool site. And when migrating pages from the tree space in Confluence, those pages will end up in WikiPack page tree. And this will also be used to transform links. So when migrating this page that contains a link to another space, and WikiTracks sees, okay, I need to create a link to the tree space. Where will the tree space be in Confluence? And then WikiTracks goes to this list, looks up the tree space here, and knows, okay, the link will start with this URL to this SharePoint site, WikiPack page tree. So when we look at the migrated page, this link, and you see below there, I hope you can read it. Yeah, it's linking to /sites/WikiPack page tree. And this is how link transformation works in WikiTracks.